Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible and visible to you? Okay. So, just wanted to ask whether the YouTube video has been uploaded or not yesterday, because I have been checking, I could not see my own video, so I'm not visible. Yes, I'm visible. Okay, have you seen any YouTube uploaded video of mine yesterday? Okay. So in that case, then I will repeat the questions today, questions along with the answers today. Okay. My audio is only coming. Shraddha, you do one thing, you just leave and join the group, then you will get me. There is some network problem from your side, I suppose. Okay, so before I start the class today, uh, just to tell you for your information that today, 5th November, this is a day when UNESCO celebrates this day as International Day Against Violence and Bullying. Okay, bullying including the cyberbullying as well. So what happened that across the school, across many school, different students are involved into bullying certain other students, and as a result a kind of uncomfortable situation happens, and they often gets depressed or harm comes to them. So it's actually not a healthy thing to do in the student's life anywhere in the schools or in the college campus. Bullying and ragging, these kind of activities are not at all entertained and not at all appreciated anywhere. So the UNESCO has requested all the schools, all the students, all the teachers to participate in the campaign against bullying and ragging. So on this regard, if you are interested, you can like make posters against this issue, against bullying and ragging. You can make posters and you can upload it into the official website of your school. Official website means official mail of your school. You can send your posters there. Okay, so I hope you know the official mail of your school, that is oerbms@gmail.com. In this mail you can send your posters. Okay, so now I will start my class. Syllabus already I have told you, and very soon I will upload that in the e-portal as well. Okay, and just to tell you that after the pre-midterm, whatever chapter I have completed, that will be in your midterm syllabus. After the pre-midterm, means excluding the pre-midterm, whatever chapters I have completed, that will be in your syllabus. And regarding the grammar part, the tense, modal, reported speech and determiners will be there. Okay. Okay, so I was giving the questions on my childhood. Okay, what was the last question I have given? Can you tell me? The last question that I have given yesterday. Okay. What happened to the new teacher? Fine. Okay, after that you write down the next question. Okay, next question you write down. Who was Shiva Subramania Iyer? 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 The same question you can write as or. Just give or and write down. How can you say Shiva Subramania Iyer was a rebel? How can you say Shiva Subramania Iyer was a rebel? Next question. What was the difference in the behavior? What was the difference in the behavior of Shiva Subramania Iyer's wife towards Abdul Kalam when he was invited for the second meal, means for the next time. I'm repeating the question. What was the difference in the behavior of Shiva Subramania Iyer's wife towards Abdul Kalam when he was invited for the second meal? When he was invited for the second meal. Okay? You can write a different question, just write or and write down a question. How can you say that Shiva Subramania Iyer's wife, how can you say that Shiva Subramania Iyer's wife was reformed from being a rigid orthodox woman, Okay? Okay. Next question. Where did Abdul Kalam wish to go? Where did Abdul Kalam wish to go for higher education? Where did Abdul Kalam wish to go for higher education? Next, what was the reaction of his parents? What was the reaction of his parents? What was the reaction of his parents. Next question, explain the line, explain the lines, then give a dash, and within quotation you have to write down this page number 74. Come to page number 74. There is the quotation, you write down, your children are not your children. Okay, that quotation. You have to explain the meaning of those lines. Your children are not your children till for they have their own thoughts. This entire quotation. For they have their own thoughts. Just write dot 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 for they have their own thoughts. Okay, this entire thing you have to explain the meaning. So this part you just write down. I'm giving you the explanation. Okay, just write down. Being the children of their parents, being the children of their parents, is the, being the children of their parents is the apparent truth of the universe. Being the children of their parents is the apparent truth of the universe. Full stop. In depth, DEPTH, they are the children. In depth, they are the children created by God, created by God for some specific purpose, for some specific purpose to the world. To the world. Full stop. They are brought to the world. They are brought to the world using other humans, using other humans as mediums, using other humans as mediums. Full stop. Thus they have the right to, thus they have the right to thus they have the right to love them, right to love them, but cannot instruct and impose, but cannot instruct and impose their own thoughts, impose their own thoughts in them, their own thoughts in them. Full stop. All such parents should accept that should accept that their children are independent individuals. Their children are independent individuals having their individual thoughts. Having their individual thoughts. Okay, so let us discuss the answers from the beginning. So the first question is very easy, you know the answer. Where was Abdul Kalam born? So you have to refer to the first, second and third line. You see, in the island town of Rameshwaram in the erstwhile Madras state. Okay. Who was Abdul Kalam's parents? You have to mention the name of the parents, that is Jainul Abdin and Aishamma. Okay. And how was their nature? So regarding the nature, you have to describe that father separately, mother separately. So regarding the father, you have to mention from here only, paragraph number 1, you see that he had kind of no formal education and no much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom and true generosity of spirit. Okay, and along with that, you mention from paragraph number 2 that he was very much austere in nature, and he would avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. Okay, that he doesn't like to spend more things on luxurious things. He is just confirm and okay with the basic necessities, not the luxuries. So he was that kind of person. And regarding the mother, you have to say that the mother was an ideal helpmate for the father. Okay, his mother was an ideal helpmate for the father, and she was a very kind woman, and she used to feed a lot of poor people. Okay, apart from the family, she used to feed a lot of poor people in their own home. Okay, so this part you write about the nature. Next, how Abdul Kalam had a very secure childhood. So regarding the secure childhood, you have to mention that Abdul Kalam in his childhood got all the basic necessities that is needed for a child to grow up. Okay, he got everything that is needed for a child to grow up mentally and physically. Okay, he got good food, he got good clothes, a proper shelter, a very proper family, a family who has a lot of moral values to give him. So he had a very secured childhood, both physically as well as mentally. In this regard, he got everything that is needed. Okay. Next question was, what did Abdul Kalam mean by undistinguished looks? Okay, so regarding this question, your answer will be that Abdul Kalam had very handsome parents who were tall and who looked very nice, but in compared to them, Abdul Kalam felt bad to be not that handsome and not that beautiful. He was something like a short and not that much distinguished features. Okay, not with such distinguished features. So in that regard, he said that. Okay, next is give a brief description of Abdul Kalam's house. This also you will get in paragraph number 2, that is, it was a fairly large pakka house made up of limestone and brick on the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. This part you write. Next, when did the Second World War start? You have to mention the date, that is 1939. At that time, Abdul Kalam was 8 years old. Okay. Next. What did Abdul Kalam do with the tamarind seeds? So he used to collect the tamarind seeds and he used to sell it to a provisional shop and he used to earn 1 anna for it. Fine. And who was Jalaluddin? So Jalaluddin was Abdul Kalam's brother-in-law, and he used to tell him stories about the war. Next, what was the first casualty mentioned in the text? So that you have to mention about that suspension of the train halt at Rameshwaram station. Okay. And where the newspapers were thrown and why? So the newspapers were had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the Rameshwaram road between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi. Everything given in this third paragraph. Achha, how did Shamsuddin help Abdul Kalam in earning his first wage? So Shamsuddin appointed Abdul Kalam with the work of catching those bundle of newspaper for him. Okay, in this way he helped him earn his first wages. Which character did Abdul Kalam inherit from his parents? So this you will get in paragraph number 4. I inherited honesty, self-discipline from my father, from my mother. I inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness. Okay. How many siblings Abdul Kalam had? So how many siblings Abdul Kalam had? Abdul Kalam had 3 brothers and 1 sister. Next, who were the 3 close friends? That also you know the name. Ramananda Shastri, Aravindan, Shiva Prakashan. What they became in their later life, their career. So one went and became the head priest of the Rameshwaram temple, another joined in some into some business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims. In paragraph number 4 ending you will get it. And Shiva Prakashan became a catering contractor for Southern Railways. Okay. Who was the head priest of Rameshwaram temple? That is Lakshmana Shastri. Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri. Which Hindu festival ceremony were organized by Abdul Kalam's family? That is that Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony. Okay. So what used to be done in the ceremony, you will get it in paragraph number 5 only. Who was the, that I have said, okay, next question, I don't know whether I have given to you or not, I don't remember. How in some parts of Rameshwaram you can find people, how in some parts of Rameshwaram you can find people who were not poisoned by the concept of social inequality and communal intolerance. Okay, so this you have to explain by giving examples. So starting from Lakshmana Shastri. So Lakshmana Shastri, how he behaved with the teacher, that clearly shows that he is completely against this entire concept of religious intolerance, because he allowed his own son to be friends with Abdul Kalam, who was a Muslim. Okay, so he, being a head priest, allowed his son to mix with a person. So that is the only, that is the very example that there was no religious intolerance in their family. Okay, next you can see that Abdul Kalam's family used to take the initiative for that Hindu ceremony, Hindu festival, Hindu ceremony, that Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony, that they used to organize. So that also very much clear that there was no intolerance. Next, the bedtime stories which Abdul Kalam used to listen from his grandmother and mother, that bedtime stories comprised both the stories of Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, and the stories from Ramayana. Means both the religious stories were their bedtime stories. So there was no difference created in their mind from the very childhood. Okay, and also not but the least but not the thing, that is that science teacher, that Shiva Subramanya Iyer, he was an orthodox Brahmin, but even being so, he tried to make a reform in the society. Okay, so how he invited Abdul Kalam, how he served with his own hands, okay, in order to like show his wife. So these are the examples. You just need to make a list for this question. What happened to the new teacher when he was called by Lakshmana Shastri? So there you have to answer that the new teacher was scolded. He was made to apologize to Abdul Kalam, uh, and until and unless he apologizes to Abdul Kalam, he would be dispelled from the island. Okay, so this ultimately reformed him. Okay, and today's question, Shiva Subramania Iyer, you will mention that he was the science teacher of Abdul Kalam and he was also a rebel. Now, why a rebel? You need to understand here. You need to write down here that he did his best, paragraph number 8, mark this place. He did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. Okay, this was Shiva Subramania Iyer's character. Okay, he was a rebel. Okay. Next, what was the difference in the behavior of the wife towards Abdul Kalam when he was invited for the second time? So at that time, in the first time, what happened? She didn't even allow him to enter the kitchen. Okay, she didn't even allow Abdul Kalam to sit in her kitchen to have the meal. Okay, but in the next meet, when Abdul Kalam was invited for the second time, at that time she not only made Abdul Kalam sit inside the kitchen but also served with her very own hands. That was the difference. That is how she was reformed. Okay. Next, where Abdul Kalam wished to go for higher education. So Ramanathapuram is the place name. You will get that in paragraph number 10. Para number 10, Ramanathapuram. Okay. And what was the reaction of his parents? So the father was readily okay. He has no problem. He allowed Abdul Kalam to do whatever he wants to do. But the mother was little bit hesitant. Okay, the mother was little bit hesitant because she actually in fact did not want to send Abdul Kalam anywhere far. Okay, so this was the reaction. And then the last question, I have given the explanation already. Okay, so is it part clear to you? So the chapter has been completed, and in my next class, that is tomorrow, instead of doing the English, I will be taking the subject information technology. Okay, tomorrow, or I don't know whether my class will be there tomorrow or not. Okay, but I'm telling, in my next class we will be doing the information technology portion, means my portion, and I will be discussing the probable questions that might come from that chapter. And regarding the syllabus of information technology, I will tell you that the first chapter, the communication skills, all the sessions from the first chapter will be in your syllabus. Only the first chapter. Okay, for the midterm. From my part, I'm telling. Now for the rest of the IT, that is according to whatever your computer teacher has told you, that will be in the syllabus. But from my side, from my part, only the first chapter will be there. Yeah, when the exams are going to held, that I don't know. So just be ready. You will get notice whenever the decision has been taken. You will get notified from school. Okay, it's just for your own preparation, because as we can understand, the time is almost near only. This is the only time when this kind of exam is supposed to be held. Okay. All right. So that's all for the class.